Yo, what is going on YouTube? I am Germ here. As you guys can see up on the screen today, I want to talk a little bit about SoFi Technologies Incorporated. This is ticker symbol SOFI or SoFi for those of you who are maybe not as familiar with this company or with this stock. And today you can see SoFi had a pretty good day. This kind of weird action right at open where we opened green, dipped into the red. But after that, we just kind of went up and up and up. And from about, 9:35 today to close, we're actually up 4.45%. So, if you bought any shares right or close to open or anything like that, you could have been up even more today. But this was just a really, really good day. And it was a good day for the whole market. Dow Jones up 1.27%, S&P up, 1.75 right about. NASDAQ up over 2% and the Russell up over 2%. So, lots of green all over the market. Past month or so in the market has just been really, really good after a really, really bad 2022. Obviously, we're all hoping there's going to be lots and lots more of good ahead because, like SoFi, up 28.57 last month. That's awesome. But still, even after being up almost 30% last month, still down 51% today. And it's not just SoFi. There's so many stocks like this. The S&P is even still down on the year despite having a good month. So hopefully there's lots of more good months ahead. Hopefully this back half of 2022 treats us all well. But obviously it's good to have a green day, and it's good to have a day where even in a full green day in the market, SoFi is still kind of, outperforming the major indices. But yeah, with that being said, we have some stories and stuff to get into. I think this is a really, really big one. The fact that SoFi is raising its rates once again. I mean, this is crazy. So I've been saying this ever since SoFi started offering interest rate, an APY on their checking account. And this was a while ago. It's like early 2022, I believe, when it first started. I was like, wow, that is really, really impressive. And this is actually a thing that got me to switch over to SoFi. I actually use SoFi for some of my banking and stuff now because the APY on the checking, there's nothing like it. I mean, it is industry leading. It is something that absolutely sets it apart. And there's so many even savings accounts out there right now that just give absolutely terrible APYs and give no savings at all. But to be able to get this on a checking account is really impressive and surprising. And the fact that they just keep increasing and increasing and increasing this rate, I don't know if this is like the 5th, 6th, 7th, something like that time that they've increased this rate so far in 2022, which is just crazy. And it shows that, if the Fed continues to increase interest rates and stuff, that I'm sure SoFi is planning on continuing to increase their rates. Obviously, the question is, when are these rates going to be decreased and how well are these rates going to hold up over time? I don't know for sure, but at least in the short term, this is a great way to get people into your ecosystem, get them piling money into your accounts, and then potentially getting them to all of your other services as well. And then if they love your product and love your services and you treat them well, they could stay, even if you do end up having to decrease the interest rates, a couple years in the future or whatever ends up happening. I don't know exactly how it's going to go, but right now, they have bumped things up to 2% APY and no account fees. This is when you have direct deposit set up with them. But if you don't have direct deposit, they still offer something. I don't know if it's 1% or 1.1 or 1.2, somewhere in the ballpark of 0.9 to 1.2% APY in checking, which is still industry leading, even without the direct deposit getting set up. So this is just absolutely awesome. Easily the best bank I've ever had, and it's not even close. Now at 2% with direct deposit, switching to SoFi from Wells Fargo tomorrow. They are absolutely getting people to switch over. This guy says, hey, glad I switched from Chase 6 months ago. They are obviously trying to compete with those traditional financial institutions, and this is a great way to do that. And people should absolutely take advantage of some of these amazing rates that they're offering, because again, it's hard/impossible to find these rates anywhere else, especially for a checking account. So I thought this was really cool. And every time as a SoFi, user myself, every time that I wake up and see my rate has increased, like that's great. I mean, that's great news. It makes me way more happy with them. If the rate never increased from here, I would be totally fine with getting 2% on my checking. But if the rate does increase from here even further, then hey, that's going to be amazing as well. We also had this. This was an article. I'm not sure exactly whose article is from. This is from marketbeat.com. Got posted on the SoFi stock subreddit. Is SoFi financial stock finally ready to pay off for investors? Which, again, obviously you look at the year to date, 51% down. Past year, 48.97% down. It definitely has not paid off for investors, even though it has done a lot of cool things and done a lot of great things. Overall, the investment has not been great so far. It's a long-term play. Who knows if it'll pay out? But that's the question they're asking. While SoFi SoFi missed its EPS loss estimate. The company is still showing double-digit growth in many areas. And this guy says, hey, I thought we did beat the EPS estimate. The second half should show the contributions of its added margin trading in the quarter. The company raised its fiscal full year 2022 revenues to come in between 1.508 billion to 1.513 billion. The company is still showing double-digit growth in many areas, as evidenced by its fiscal second quarter 2022 results for the quarter ending in June. The company raised its, it's just kind of saying the same stuff over and over again. So I don't know. Overall, it's kind of stupid. And then they say, yeah, SoFi definitely beat the EPS expectations. A couple more earnings will still be set in sail. I'm in at 19 average, so it isn't paying off for me for a long time. And we'll see. You never know. You would have never thought it'd be down this far, this fast. So things could turn around. I mean, it does suck because for SoFi and many other of these companies, especially, unprofitable, growth-oriented companies, they go as the market goes. So has SoFi in itself, went down this far in the past year? Kind of, but it's also gone down because the market's gone down. If the market was still hot, SoFi would have never went down. So there's been, war, inflation, all these different things that have obviously impacted it. Fed raising rates, all these different things that have just affected the market in general, which has hit a lot of different stocks. And hey, and sometime in the next 5 years, if we go on another mega bull run, you'll be able to recoup a lot of these gains just as fast as you lost them. And then the differences are going to be in how strong the fundamentals of your company are, how good the company performs over the time. Obviously 100% of the stock going up and down is not just the stock itself. It's a million other variables that are going on in the market as well. This person asking when or will SoFi become a top 10 bank in the U.S.? When will SoFi crack into the big time by cracking into the top 10 banks in the country, either based on customers or assets? Obviously, that's going to be difficult to do, but SoFi is currently smaller in deposit rank than BANF, a bank that only does business in Oklahoma. This is likely because SoFi is operating in the personal banking space rather than also having significant commercial business. The answer is that SoFi or any other bank cannot be in that top 20 list without connections to commercial customers and their money, which that's pretty crazy. I mean, that's an interesting fun fact, something I didn't know, that, SoFi is smaller than a lot of these banks. And it just shows you, that's exciting because that means SoFi has so much growth potential. But yeah, they can't only be popular in the personal banking space, no matter how many customers they steal away from these, traditional financial institutions and stuff, which is absolutely what they're trying to do. The big money is always going to be in the businesses. The big money is always going to be in the whales. It's going to pay off to get that one big whale over, potentially hundreds of thousands of small players. If that person's coming in bringing in tens of millions, hundreds of millions, whatever amount of crazy dollars, so yeah, that's what SoFi is gonna have to do. And when are they gonna be able to do that? Will they be able to do that? Who knows? But if they keep doing things right and they're still around and they're a major player and they're doing a lot of good things, then the people are gonna come. But obviously, a lot of these relationships with these big businessmen and the traditional financial institution, the big banks and stuff, are obviously really, really established. So it is definitely going to be a hard area to break into. All these fintech companies, they're going up against behemoths that are have been established for years and years and years and have a ton of connections. So, we'll have to wait and see. And then finally, SoFi filed its Q2 2022 10Q. And then somebody says, about goddamn time. What should I be looking for in here? The guy said, personally, browsing through the tables to see what bothers and seems to improve. Sales and marketing expense increased even more and is now at 144 million. On the bright side, general and administrative expense is lower this quarter. Interest expense on securitizations and warehouses is lower this quarter, and interest income from loans and securitizations increased more than interest expense on securitizations and warehouses plus deposits when looking at it quarter over quarter. So there will definitely be people who dive into this and give us a ton of information. This was just 3 days ago. I'm sure we'll be hearing some big important key things from this very, very soon. But pretty much it for this video today, guys. Definitely drop a like if you did enjoy it. I would appreciate that so much. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think about SOFI. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Subscribe, stay up to date on all my latest content. Hopefully catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace.